Okay, my name's Alex Tranter, mechanical engineer. Where are the mechanicals? Hands up. Yes, thank you. I'm only interested in the mechanicals, and I always show respect to the mechanicals, so that's why I identify the mechanicals. So the rest, I'm sorry, I'm not going to ask you to put your hands up. And I will focus my talk mainly on the mechanicals, okay? So, sorry. Make sure you choose the right engineering stream. Okay. Oh, a joke, okay? A joke. That was a joke. I am going to talk to you about public speaking, presentation, public speaking. Okay, very short, very quick. A few pointers. I also had someone who said maybe say a few words on how you can prepare a presentation for the thesis. We have some photos here, and maybe how we can make things a little bit more refined. Two things I learned. First of all, I was never a public speaker, believe it or not. I was always someone who's very shy, and someone who went red in the face as soon as I said a word. I seem to have got over that. I'm not sure the medicine I used, but whatever I did, I seem to have got over that. And I think a lot of it has to do with confidence. And a lot of it relates to self-confidence. So it's pretty much working a little bit and doing some homework to yourself to try and make yourself believe you can do things. A week ago I had the class I'm lecturing at the moment. They had their coursework presentations. Whoever took my credit will remember I do presentations where I have teams of students who present themselves. And this time I had 16 teams of 4 to 6 students each. 3-hour session. I invited a judging panel, and I could judge people who felt confident and people who felt less confident immediately by the way they move, by the way they look. And that already positions and passes vibes across to the audience who is listening to you to say, this person is not confident about himself. So sometimes you say, if I ask a question, I might embarrass that person, so better not ask the question. Sometimes if you ask a question, you'll mix up the person because the person's not that confident, and therefore, you know, that person might forget what they want to say because they get so flustered. So a lot of it has to do with the self. How can you do this? How can you become confident? There's no magic button. I think it needs work. It needs work maybe in small groups, and then you get to larger groups. It needs practice. Okay? You all have a mirror at home. You practice in front of a mirror. Okay? Basic stuff, locked in a room. Make sure you lock the door when you're practicing, okay? But there are things whereby the more you make yourself confident in relation to the message you want to get across, the easier it comes out, just in case your body temperature changes when you're actually on the spot doing it. You would have psyched yourself so much on a message that the message hopefully will come up and not be sidetracked because of your body temperature, okay? So you do need to practice that. Whenever you have an audience, I think one of the key aspects is understanding the audience and touching the audience. Remember, a presentation is not for you. You present for people, and the people are the ones who are going to be your judge. So don't think you have the best presentation in the world because you've been working on it for 3 weeks. You have so much detail, so much content. It's the best. You've covered everything. It could be and be interpreted as the worst presentation when you show it to third parties. okay? So always be aware of who you are presenting to. If it's a small group, if it's a large group, you need to understand who your audience is. And if your audience, and you're sensible and you understand who your audience is, keep in mind your audience, what are the things which your audience would like to take out of your presentation. If I'm speaking to 3 professors and I have my final year thesis which I need to present, is going to be completely different if I'm speaking to a group of students. The aims of the audience are completely different, okay? The relationship of throwing a rope to the audience is making a link, and I think that has to happen. You have to understand whoever there is in front of you, it could be the 3 professors or the bunch of students, you need to know who they are. Don't detach yourself, don't be a robot that comes in and completely presents something without understanding who they are, you know. And maybe, you know, after saying good morning to the 3 professors, you actually say, hi, I'm ABC, and do you mind if I just know your names? I mean, you're not asking any mortal sins here. You're just throwing a rope to saying, do you mind if I ask your names? Professor Davis, Professor Camilleri, Professor Borch. Okay, you've thrown an initial rope. So if you make a link and you've immediately calmed yourself down to know who the audience is. Okay? I hate it when someone walks into a presentation, starts the presentation, looks at the audience, gets presentation going and just starts. Bang, bang, bang. Absolutely, it could be a bunch of, you know, whoever. Not interested. The presentation's there, you know you have to do it. I think that is very insensitive. The audience, you're doing all this for the audience, so throw the rope and try and get your audience involved, at least at the initial part, that you know who you're speaking to, and you speak to them without speaking about your content first. Very short intro, just to show you throw the rope, okay? Whenever you're doing PowerPoint presentations, I have learned, please do not put tremendous content on each slide. Engineers love detail, okay? And sometimes you need the detail. The challenge we have is, how can we put all the detail on one slide? Because you can't put them on 2 slides. It has to be all on one slide. But, you know, when you come across to explain it, the only way I've managed to succeed on a slide which is very detailed is by spending a hell of a lot of time on that one slide, and I animate everything that's on that slide. And if there's a lot of information, I bring it up bit by bit, by bit, by bit, by bit, by bit, by bit, until the whole slide is full of information. But that is definitely not what you see when I turn the slide, because when I turn the slide full of information, you have Professor Camilleri looking at the top right-hand corner. You have Professor Davis looking at the left-hand corner. And people's attention is focused wherever they want, not where you want. So if I have you as an audience, I need to capture and channel in a funnel your focus on very particular issues which I want to get across to you. Complex technical issues, come what may. But I need that focus to come, and you are my slaves. I will tell you what to look at and when to look at. So you animate the slide, you build the slide bit by bit, and you focus your presentation on the bit by bit build-up, which then shows the complete picture. Okay? Remember, you have a walkthrough which you need to take someone. You're my audience. I'm doing a presentation to you, and the presentation I do to you is an experience. I take you through a walkthrough experience of what I want to get across to you. So hold hands, you have a young child, and you're taking that child and you're walking that child through the presentation. Okay? Now you're seeing this, turn around, you see this, then you see that, and I'm holding hands. Okay? You never stand and you say walk and see what you want inside here. You hold hands and it's a walkthrough. And it is the adult to the child saying, you see this? You see